Looking back at 2020, probably one of the biggest questions anybody's been asking when it comes to any show that's kind of celebrating the 30th anniversary, or at least kind of semi-finishing up their anniversary from the previous year, and that is, what would a reboot be like? And that, of course, leads us to Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Now, of course, with their appearance this year in DuckTales, the new series, which unfortunately, according to reports, is going to be ending in 2021, making the third season the final season, one question has become very apparent to a lot of fans. What would a reboot be like? What would it consist of? Now, we do know we're getting a movie in 2022, which is a live-action CGI hybrid, and how that's going to be is anybody's guess. I mean, it does sound like it's got potential, but there are fears of what direction it could be heading or taking when it comes to its presentation. But looking back at 2020, though, again, the question anybody asks is, what would a Rescue Rangers reboot be like ever since their appearance in the DuckTales series this year? Well, my honest opinion is, if we were going to do a Rescue Rangers reboot, I think it needs to be done in a way that's kind of identical to the original, but taken up a few notches. You know, don't go the route of DuckTales or anything like that. Bring on the same team if you want to, or bring on a team that has similar experience in creating these kind of shows, but don't go the same formulaic, easy for me to say, direction that you did with DuckTales. Go in a direction that's, honoring the original Rescue Rangers presentation back from 89 to 91. Go down that route, and I guarantee you fans will appreciate what they see. I mean, if we got any indication of what their characters would look like in a reboot after the debut or return in this, or appearance in the DuckTales series, then I think we're in good hands. But with the announcement that Darkwing Duck's going to get one with Seth Rogen behind the deal, that's another question. And then obviously the question is, what would that be like? Is it going to be connecting to DuckTales, or is it going to be something different? And the same could be asked about, Rescue Rangers. Is it going to be connected somewhat to DuckTales, or is it going to be something different? And knowing that a reboot means, starting over from scratch, then obviously it's got to be something different. It's got to be a little more, original in style, but stay true to what the original concept was. Now, I could see them going back to what the original series was like, to where it wasn't genetically enhanced, intelligent-wise rodents, created in a lab thanks to an intelligent way that we saw in DuckTales. Instead, I think we could stay in the original route, in the original presentation that we had, because that's what fans are more familiar with. Now, a reboot does open the door for many possibilities as to, like, what will the characters be like? Will they be similar to the original personalities? Will there be some tweaks, some quirks? What will it be? Now, some people at the Acorn Cafe gave some good ideas. I mean, some felt that, Chip could remain as he is. Dale could kind of represent that pulp culture, geeky perspective of, he likes comics, he likes, video games, he likes being on computers, stuff like that. And Gadget pretty much could be similar in its sense, still be the inventive type, be the one that comes up with the, crazy weapons and, vehicles that they utilize, but also kind of be on the same wavelength maybe as Dale, as, sharing that passion for the computerness and stuff like, that he likes, which obviously was evident if you look at RoboCat, in my opinion. And then Monterey Jack, they felt that, hey, you could slim him down a little bit, make him more muscular, maybe give him a bit of a gut, but make him more like, hey, he's slimmed down, more muscular than what he is, or than what he was in the original. And those are good ideas. Those are really good ideas of how the characters could, remain as they are, but also have a few tweaks to them, personality and design-wise. But yeah, a reboot for Rescue Rangers, like I said, can present many possibilities as to what we could get with the characters, and what could be presented. I think with a reboot, there's no doubt that if you're someone that's on the creative staff that grew up on the show, that obviously you want to maybe make the romance perspective, the shipping of Gadget was one of the characters, Chip or Dale, a reality. And in my opinion, I've always stuck by this, and a lot of fans obviously stick by this as well, and I'm sure some of the creators, that I think if they go down that route in a reboot, it would probably be Dale that she would end up with in the end. Not saying that's entirely true, because they could do what this Ian guy did, Ian Stones, I can't pronounce his name, Ian Brill did, with the Rescue Rangers comic continuation, if you will, in Boom Studios, and that's bring Foxglove in and make her sort of a reoccurring character that has a love connection with Dale as well. Same with Tammy with Chip, stuff like that, and maybe give Gadget Sparky, who knows. They could go down that route. But I think a reboot opens the door for the possibility of romance to be incorporated into the show finally, and finally some resolution given to Gadget choosing either Chip or Dale as her potential partner in life, which again I think they might go with Dale just by the fact that there was too many hints, in my opinion, in the original presentation for that not to happen. And I think that would have happened in the original concept for an animated film. But yeah, a Rescue Rangers reboot I think has the potential to be great. You know, I think, again, the opportunities present themselves. You know, you can make the villains more vicious, more comedic, you know, more serious and threatening than they were before in the past. You can come up with new characters, new villains and stuff that could add to the equation, add to the storytelling. If you want to take an example from DuckTales and any of the other shows that have done previously, you could definitely have a continuous continuity going from season to season, building up to something major at the end, depending on how long the show would go. So there's that possibility that you could, you know, continue on from the likes of DuckTales and other shows that have come out prior. But a reboot for Rescue Rangers, yeah, I could see it. And I could see, again, the possibilities opening up and being endless as to what they could bring to the table. I mean, you could bring in the Danger Rangers from Boom Studios that were introduced in the Boom Studio comics. I could see that happening. I could see that being something that they could do maybe for a season and going from there. But yeah, do I see a reboot being possible? Absolutely. And I definitely see it being more possible in the next few years after this movie. This movie might be something a little different, but there's no doubt it's going to spark interest in doing a reboot to probably debut alongside the Darkwing Duck reboot around the same time it debuts. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on a possible Rescue Ranger reboot? What would you feel would be needed for it to happen? How do you think the characters would be presented? Do you think romance could play a role in that? And do you think Gadget would choose finally someone, either Chip or Dale, possibly as a love interest? Do you think Dale could be that love interest? What do you guys think? What do you think they could do with it? What elements do you think they could bring in? Comment down below, and I will talk to y'all later.